Hello everyone, welcome to the Meet the Tea Farmer event that we organize monthly. This time we have a special guest that you can, I think, already see on the screen. It is Ikeya-san from Saitama. So he is joining us from his tea farm. He is right now on his tea farm. Ikeya-san, こんにちは。
こんにちは、お願いいたします。
お願いします。少し自分のこと言ってくれますか？
はい、皆さんこんにちは。ですね、私は東京の隣の埼玉県というところで狭山茶という日本茶を作っております池の屋園の池谷と申します。今日はよろしくお願いいたします。
So hello everyone, this is Ikeya-san from a tea farm called Ikenoya-en, and they are based in Saitama, that is just next to Tokyo, so the neighbor prefecture next to Tokyo, and they're making tea called Sayamacha. This is a local brand of Saitama. はい。
はい、今日はですね、ちょっと最初は今茶畑に私います。ここからですね、最初だけちょっとお届けしたいと思います。
So right now, Ikeya-san is joining us from his tea farm. This is where he is. So this is real time, and we can even hear the birds chirping in the background. So very, very beautiful. And so he's joining us from his tea field now, but then we will meet him again at his tea shop. はい。
はい。ですね、今茶畑ちょうど新茶の収穫の直前で、綺麗な新芽が出てきてます。
So right now is the time just before the spring harvest. So we can see the tea has grown very beautifully. The buds are coming out.
ちょっと写真を変えますね。
So Ikeya-san is going to show us a little bit closer look of the tea farm.
今こういった形で新芽が伸びてきてます。この畑ではそうですね、あと10日から2週間ぐらいすると収穫期になると思います。
So you can see the buds, the situation right now, and in about 10 days, 2 weeks, they are going to start harvesting.
はい、この畑はですね、狭山香りという品種なんですけど、皆様の手元にお届けしたお茶もここから収穫されています。
So on this tea farm, in this location, the cultivar they are growing is called Sayama Kaori. And actually, the tea that we will be tasting today also comes from this tea farm, exactly this location.
はい、今だいたい葉っぱがこのように1枚から2枚開いてるんですけど、これが4枚ぐらいになった時に収穫をします。
And maybe you can see now there is about 1 or 2 leaves open on the new bud. So when there will be about 3, 4 leaves open, it will be time for harvesting.
はい、また狭山茶の、特徴とか、産地の説明は後ほどよろしくお願いいたします。
And about Saitama location and Sayamacha, the local brand there, Ikeya-san is going to tell us a little bit later.
はい、それでは私は一旦、お店の方に戻りたいと思います。
はい。So now Ikeya-san will be going back to his shop, and we will taste the teas when he returns. はい、お願いします。
はい、戻ります。
はい。Okay. So yeah, so hello everyone. So very, very beautiful and very, very special view we have just before the harvest. This is the only time of the year when we see such a beautiful tea farm with such a green, lush buds coming in the springtime. So harvests come later as well in summer and autumn, but this kind of view is very, very special. And yeah, we had a good timing to invite Ikeya-san just before his harvest, just a few days or a few weeks before. So when Ikeya-san comes back, he will tell us a bit more about the teas that you have with you. But his video is off, but his audio is on, so he can hear you. So what we would like to do in the meanwhile is we would like you to also introduce yourself. I think a lot of you are joining many times and maybe already know each other, but maybe meeting Ikeya-san directly for the first time. So he would also like to get to know you. And just to add that today we are also recording the session. So in case you would like not to be recorded, best way is to keep the video and audio off and use the chat instead. But if we see your video on, we will understand that you would like to participate, and then we will call you in the conversation. So with that, I would like to ask you to introduce yourself, just to tell a little bit of who you are, where you are, so that Ikeya-san can know you a little better. And Michaela, would you like to start first?
Hello, I'm Michaela from Vienna, Austria. And last year I joined a marathon and discovered a lot of different Japanese teas, and yeah, I got hooked on the end. Just want to taste more of them.
There is never enough.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much, Michaela. So I'm going to translate in Japanese, and if some of you can speak Japanese, please translate yourselves. I think it will be easier as well to understand. 池谷さんもう参加者の自己紹介始めてて、でこれはミカエラです。オーストリアからつなげてます。でマラソン去年のマラソンにも参加してて、でそこですごくいろいろお茶が好きになりまして、でこれからもっともっといろいろ飲みたいです。はい、
よろしくお願いします。
Thank you so much, Michaela. And how about Katya? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Katya from Barcelona. I have the tea shop in Chile, my country, and it's my second time to meeting with the tea farmer, and I'm so happy for that they enjoy the new teas from Japan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katya. カティアです。スペインからつながってますけど、チリでお茶の店やってます。はい。で、マラソンにも参加してて、で、このイベントにも2回目です。茶農家さんに会うすごく楽しいです。はい。Thank you, Katya. And how about James? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm James. I'm in Brisbane in Australia. I used to be a foreign student in Japan. Just before COVID started, I did a tea tour of Shikoku. And I wanted to go back, but unfortunately it's not possible. So I'm really enjoying these virtual sessions.
Thank you, James. And I think you can speak Japanese as well, isn't it? Would you like to?
こんにちは、ジェームスと申しますが、ずっと前は高知県の留学生でしたけど、ちょっとコロナが始まる前に四国のお茶園のツアーしましたが、もっともう一回したかったけど、もちろんコロナの影響でダメになりましたが、このバーチャルのお茶園のツアーも楽しんでいます。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you so much, James. Monique, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Monique Jacobs from the Netherlands. I'm a tea lover and learning to be a tea sommelier. And I really enjoy Japanese tea. And I was, for 3 months, I spent some time in Japan for my work years ago. And I just really love Japanese tea.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, Monique. モニックです。オランダからつながってます。日本茶すごく好きで、仕事でも日本にいたことありまして、で、日本茶もお茶も日本茶もすごく好きで、今ソメリエになるように勉強しています。はい。Thank you so much. And how about Chiara? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Chiara. I'm from Italy.
It's my first time meet the tea farmer, but I joined the tea marathon the past summer. I love so much Japan tea, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Kiara. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. キアラさんです。イタリアンからつながってます。このようなイベントに初めてなんですけど、去年にはマラソンにも参加しました。日本茶は大好きです。はい。Thank you so much. And we also have Iris. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Iris. I'm joining from Berlin in Germany. I'm actually from Vienna in Austria. And I joined the marathon as well. It's my first time joining the Team Farmer events, and the marathon was wonderful. And I traveled to Japan many times. I also lived there for half a year. Yes, so my love for tea is is there.
We can feel it, yes. Thank you so much, Iris. Do you speak Japanese? Would you like to?
Oh, no.
No? Okay, no worries.
Rather not.
No problem. アイリスさんです。オーストラリア人なんですけど、今はドイツにいます。で、日本にも何回も来たことありまして、半年ぐらい住んでたことあります。このイベントは初めてなんですけど、マラソンにも参加しました、去年で。はい。Thank you so much. ありがとうございます。And also, Stefania, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good morning, I'm Stefania from Italy, and I also enjoyed the marathon, and I'm a responsible of the director for Tea Academy Italia, and also I have a tea room with a little corner of tea and so on. So that's my passion, and I love Japanese tea.
Thank you so much, Stefania. ステファニアさんです。イタリアからつなげてます。マラソンにも参加しまして、で、すごくお茶好きな方です。イタリアでお茶の学校の社長です。はい。Thank you so much, Stefania. And Elena, good to see you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Same like many of others, I discovered the tea marathon. Then I joined the education programs by Simona, by the association. And I'm still a big fan of Japanese tea, and more I want to know about it. And I live in Belgium. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Elena. エレナさんです。ベルギーから参加してます。去年のマラソンにもみんなように参加しまして、でその後に国際日本茶協会の教育のプログラムにも参加しました。はい、すごくお茶好きです。はい。Thank you so much, Elena. And Martin, also good to see you.
Hello, yes, good to see you. Hang on. Am my voice on? Oh, okay, because it gave a message here. Okay. こんにちは。私は Martin です。オランダ人です。Okay, that's about my Japanese, I guess. So I'm Martin, I'm from the Netherlands, even though I'm in Portugal at the moment, where I live as well. So yeah, I've been into tea for quite some years now, and also part of the Global Japan Tea Association for since, well, quite early on. And I guess this is my, what is it, the 13th Meet of Tea Farmer now, or all of them actually. So
Martin, you are the veteran. You joined all of them, I think.
all of them until to date, yes. So it's always nice to meet tea farmers and to learn about new tea. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you so much. マーテンも自分で日本語で言ってたんですけど、オランダ人なんですけど、今ポルチュガル から参加してます。仕事でもうポルチガルにも行くことあります。で、お茶もすごく好きで、もう何でも参加してますね。マラソンにも参加しました。教育プログラムにも参加しました。で、このイベントも全部12回ぐらい参加してます。もう本当にもうお茶大好きな方です。はい。Thank you so much, Martin. And Sylvia, good to see you.
こんにちは。私はシルビアです。It's okay.
Yes, very good.
That's all. That's all for now. I'm learning Japanese language, so maybe next year I can tell about in Japanese. I'm from Italy. I am a tea lover and a tea sommelier, and Stefania is my tea educator. Yeah. I ran the wonderful tea marathon. I succeeded the 2 level of Global Japanese Tea Association. I'm a proud member and pioneer of this association. And I love to learn all about tea because it's one of my passions.
Thank you so much.
So I'm here to learn about Hideki Ikeya-san teas.
Yes, very good place, Sylvia. That's what we are going to do. はい。シルビアさんです。イタリアから参加してます。お茶もすごく好きで、マラソン参加して、教育プログラムに参加しまして、で、今は、さっき自己紹介してた、シルビアの生徒さんです。で、お茶も好きなんですけど、今日本語も勉強してます。最初少しぐらい日本語言ってたんですけど、将来もうちょっと喋りたいですね。はい。Thank you so much, Sylvia. All right. I think everyone who had their cameras on, we called out. If we missed someone, just please speak up. We want to include everyone. But I think so far should be all of you. So I think we are ready to jump into the teas and to learn and explore more of what Ikeya-san does and what kind of teas he makes. そしたら、Ikeyaさん、お茶に進めますか？今日のお茶の説明とか。
はい、そうしましょう。はい、いいですか？じゃあ1個目のお茶をお願いしても。
お願いします。はい、もう一つのカメラまだですよね。
これか。OK ですかね。
はい、はい、じゃあどうぞ。
はい、皆さん、こちらのお茶、お送りさせていただいたものだと思うんですけども、今からこれをみんなと一緒に入れさせていただきます。よろしくお願いします。
This is one of the teas that all of you should have by now. This is the tea made by Ikeya-san, and the first one we will be brewing.
で、このお茶はですね、埼玉県というのは深蒸し茶が有名な産地です。
And Saitama Prefecture is known for fukamushiche, the deep steamed kind tea.
はい。で、これはですね、狭山香織という先ほど見ていただいた畑から取れた品種のお茶です。
And this tea is made with Sayama Kaori cultivar, actually from the tea farm we just saw Ikeya-san at the beginning, so from that location.
はい、狭山香織というのは埼玉県で作られた品種で、とても味が濃く、すごく香りも高いのが特徴です。
This cultivar, Sayama Kaori, is made locally in Saitama Prefecture, and it is known for quite rich taste and also strong aroma.
はい、で、先ほど見ていただいた畑に、これからカーテンのような幕をかけて、かぶせ茶というお茶を作ります。
And like we saw in the tea farm, the buds were growing up. So to make this tea, they would cover it with a shading and produce kabusecha, shaded style tea.
はい。でも京都とかのかぶせ茶と違ってですね、少しだけそのかぶせる期間が短くなっています。
And it is a shaded tea, kabusecha, but there is a little bit of difference from, say, kabusecha made in Kyoto area.
はい、では早速入れていきたいと思います。
So next we would like to make this tea. So Ikeya-san will explain us how to do it.
はい、今日はですね、こういった、どこにでもあるような常滑という急須を使っていきたいと思います。
Today we will be using a teapot called kyusu, and this is tokoname style.
はい、あとこの湯冷ましというお湯を冷ますための道具を使います。ない人はですね、マグカップとかで代用できます。
And the second tool is called yuzamashi. It is used for cooling down the water. So there's the special utensil in Japan, but even if you don't have it at home, you can use anything you have, even like a mug cup.
はい、今日はですね、2人分のお茶を入れていきたいと思います。こういった約 100cc ぐらい入る湯飲みを2つ用意しました。
And today, Ikeya-san is going to show the brewing method for making tea for 2 people. So it's he's using the cups of about 100 milliliter or just a little over.
はい、で私が大事にしていることの一つに、やっぱり皆様にも同じような入れ方で同じような味わいを味わってもらいたいので、どこにでもあるような急須をちょっと用意させてもらいました。
And this time, Ikeya-san really wants you to have the same experience as the tea that he's brewing. So he really paid attention to choose the teaware that is possible to find anywhere, a regular kind of kyusu.
はい、ではですね、入れる前に入れ方をちょっと説明したいと思います。今日はですね、200cc のお湯を使いたいと思います。100cc ずつですね。
So first of all, Ikeya-san wants to tell you how to make this tea, and as mentioned before, he's using 2 cups of about 100 milliliters, so the water amount is going to be about 200 milliliters.
はい、で 100cc に対して茶葉を2から3グラム使いたいと思いますので、今日は2人分で約5グラム葉っぱを使います。
So normally for about 100 milliliters of water, we would be using about 2 to 3 grams of tea. And today making 200 milliliters of water, we will be using about 5 grams of tea.
はい、でお湯の温度はですね、80度から85度ぐらいに冷まして入れたいと思います。
The water temperature would be between 80 and 85 degrees Celsius.
はい、最後に抽出時間ですが、今日は60秒、1分を予定しています。
And about steeping time, we are going to wait for about 1 minute.
はい、では早速入れていきます。
So now we would like to make it together.
このポットの中にですね、沸騰したてのお湯ですね、95度ぐらいのお湯が入っていると思ってください。
So in the spot that Ikeya-san has, there is boiling water, so probably around 95 degrees Celsius.
こちらをですね、一旦湯飲みの方に入れていきます。こうすることで、5度から10度お湯の温度が下がります。
So first of all, Ikeya-san is pouring boiling water into the cups, and by doing that, the water temperature should drop about 5 or 10 degrees.
で、もう少しお湯を冷ましたいので、先ほど説明したこの湯冷まし、もしくはマグカップの方に、このお湯をもう一度移します。
And because we want to cool down the water a little bit more, as Ikeya-san explained before, he's using the yuzamashi, the water cooler. So if you have it, please use it as well. Otherwise, a mug cup is also fine.
はい、でもう少しこれを待っている間に葉っぱを用意したいと思います。
So while waiting for the water to cool down just a bit more, we can prepare the tea.
こちらですね。ちょっと見えにくいですけど、皆さんのところに届いているのと全く同じものです。
So maybe it's a bit hard to see, but it's the same tea that you received as well.
小さじのスプーンでだいたい2杯ぐらいですね。
So if you have a tea measuring spoon, it should be about 2 spoons.
はい、それではお湯が冷めましたので、急須の方に注いでいきます。
So the water temperature should have decreased by now, and we can pour the water on top of the tea and wait for a little while.
はい、で急須はですね、できるだけ 揺らさない方がいいかなと思います。渋みや雑味がちょっと出やすくなってしまうので。
When you make this tea, also be careful not to move the kyusu too much. So let it be still, because if we move it a lot, the tea can become a bit stronger and astringency.
はい。で、60秒待ちましょう。
So waiting now for about 60 seconds.
はい。その間に1個説明させてください。狭山茶はですね、味がすごく自慢の産地で、日本の中では北の方にある産地なんですけども、色は静岡、香りは宇治を、味は狭山でとどめさすと言われている味自慢の産地です。
So while we are waiting, also Ikeya-san would like to explain a bit more about Sayama cha. And there is a famous saying that the tea color is from Shizuoka, the taste is from Uji, and that the aroma is from Sayama. So Sayama has a bit of pride in its tea.
はい、それでは30秒、60秒経ちましたので入れていきます。
And now probably about 60 seconds have passed, so we can pour and make this tea.
入れるときにはですね、回し継ぎと日本では言っているんですけども、このように順番に注いでいきます。
And maybe you have heard of this saying before, amawashitsugi. It's a special way of pouring tea in Japan, where you pour a little bit in each cup and you go back and forth a few times.
はい。こうすることでですね、濃度が均一になったりですね、量も同じ量を入れることができます。
This way helps to make everything even. So the color even and also the taste and the amount of tea.
はい。で、この最後の1滴まで急須で入れる場合はですね、絞り切っていただくことをお勧めします。
Also, Ikeya-san is recommending to draw out all last drops like he's showing now, even having a little bit of energy to shake them out of the kyusu.
はい、この1滴が味が大変濃厚だったりとか、あとは2回目を飲む時のために中が蒸れないように水分をない状態にしておきます。
And it is known that those last drops are the richest, they have the strongest taste, so we want to take them out, but also it helps for the second brew, so we don't want to leave the tea leaves soaked in water until the second brew, so it helps to remove as much liquid as possible out of kyusu.
で蓋はですね、こういうふうにちょっとずらしておくとですね、中の葉っぱが蒸れず、2回目が美味しくお飲みいただけます。
And also Ikeya-san is showing to leave the lid a little bit open like this, so that the tea leaves don't kind of suffocate in the heat inside, and we can have a good second brew.
はい、これで美味しく入ったと思います。色もいいですね。
So Ikeya-san thinks this should be very delicious. Just look at the color, how green it is.
はい。
Okay. Everyone, have you made the tea? Do you have it ready? Yes? はい。みんなもできてます。はい。一緒に飲みましょうか。
はい。飲みましょ
う。はい。So everyone, let's drink it together. 乾杯。
なんか私が作ったお茶がこうやっていろんな世界のにこう届いてるっていうのは本当に嬉しいなっていうふうに思います。
So Ikeya-san is really happy that the tea that he's made has gone so widely around the world to all of your places.
狭山茶というのは日本の中ではちょっと味自慢と言いましょう、ちょっときつくも感じるんですけども、その味の濃さが一番の特徴です。
So comparing Sayama tea from Saitama with other regions, Sayama tea maybe is known for a little bit stronger, richer taste. And Ikeya-san thinks this is a unique feature of the teas from his region.
で、どこでそれを感じられるかっていうと、一番は2回目、3回目を飲んだときに味がそれでもしっかり残ってる、しっかり感じられるっていうところで味の濃さを一番体験していただけると思います。
And you can feel this richness, especially in second and third cup, because a lot of flavor still remains in the tea leaves, and you can get quite a rich and strong brews after.
はい、1回目はうまみ、2回目は香りと渋みをこう体験していただけると思います。
The first brew maybe has the most umami, and in the second brew you can experience a bit more astringency, but also even more of the aroma.
ではお茶を飲んでいただきながら、どんなところで作られているのかっていうのをちょっと写真を使いながら説明させてもらいます。
はい。So while you're tasting this tea, Ikeya-san would also like to share some of the pictures he has from his area.
見れてますか？
今、いけました。はい。
はい、こちらがですね、先ほど私がいた茶畑の今日の朝の写真になります。
So the picture you are seeing on the screen now is actually from the same location where Ikeya-san joined us at the beginning, and this is the situation in the morning, this morning.
はい、うちの畑の中で一番今新芽が伸びていて、一番最初に収穫する畑です。
In this tea field, the buds have grown out the most compared to other areas, and probably harvest will be the earliest among other locations.
はい、この写真を見ていただくと分かると思うんですけども、今真ん中に針のような芯があって、その横に葉っぱが2つあります。
So this picture is very easy to understand. We can see in the center the one bud and then two leaves just underneath it.
これがだいたい葉っぱが4枚から5枚になった時が収穫期というふうに言われています。
And usually the good timing to start harvesting is when you can see about 4 or 5 leaves out.
だいたいそうですね、5日で葉っぱが1枚ぐらい伸びるので、あと10日ぐらいで収穫できますかね。
In about every 5 days, one new leaf comes out. So in about 10 days will be the right timing for harvest.
はい、次の写真がこれが手摘みの茶園の様子です。先ほどの畑と形が違うのがわかると思います。
Look at this picture. This is quite interesting, quite unique. This is the tea field for hand picking. So the shape and the appearance very different from the previous picture.
自然仕立てと言って、こちらの畑はもうそうですね、4枚ぐらい開いてくるので、間もなく収穫できます。
So this kind of cultivation is called shizen jitate, where you let the tea bushes grow out more, so not keeping them nicely trimmed. And here we can also see the buds, the new shoot, and there are already about 4 leaves, new leaves, so it's nearly ready for harvest.
はい、で上にかかっているこのカーテンのような黒いのが寒冷紗といって、日光の光をこれで遮って栽培しています。
And at the top you can see the black cover. This is the shading material that helps to prevent some amount of the light.
はい、こうすることで色がこう緑になって、甘みの強いお茶になります。
And by doing this, the color becomes stronger of the tea, and also there is more umami in the taste.
はい、これが新芽をアップで撮った写真です。
And this is a very beautiful picture of also the young shoot.
はい、でこちらがですね、私のいる入間市という狭山茶が一番取れるところです。
And this picture is also from Ikeya-san's location. It's called Iruma City, and this is the largest area in Saitama Prefecture.
はい、これが昨年の5月の15日ぐらいの写真です。
This picture was taken last year around the 15th of May.
はい、今年はまだここまで伸びてないんですけども、あと10日、2週間ぐらいするとこのような景色が一面に広がってきます。
This year, the scenery is not yet like this, but in about 10 days or so, it should look very similar.
はい、これが収穫の様子です。ドローンで撮った写真です。
And this is the harvesting scene, the picture taken by drone.
このように埼玉県は結構平らな産地ですね。山のお茶というよりは大地のお茶という感じですね。
And from this picture, you can see that the area is very flat. So rather than tea being grown on the mountains like in other areas, it's more grown on the flat area.
はい、こちらのこのような車みたいな機械で収穫をしていきます。
And here you can see the harvesting machine from the front. It's like a little car, like a machine.
はい。で、こちらですね。これがうちの裏山の展望台から見た狭山茶の産地の様子です。
And this is a picture also of the same area we saw before, but taken from the back, a little higher up, so we can see also another angle.
狭山茶はですね、日本の中でも、こう家が都会の産地でして、このように家が近くにたくさんあったり、します。
Sayama tea grown in Saitama is grown in quite urban areas, so we can see the houses and the tea farms are very close by.
ちなみにこの奥に見える山の向こう側は東京都です。
And you can see the mountain line in front. Beyond those mountains is Tokyo.
はい。で、最後にこちらがですね、5年前の冬の写真なんですけど、埼玉県はこんだけ雪が積もることがあります。
And this picture is taken also a few years ago, but you can see how cold Saitama area is. So you can get this much snow over there.
この冬の寒さがですね、味が濃くなる一番の理由というふうに言われています。
And thanks to this winter coldness, the result is this very rich taste of Sayama tea.
はい。で、こちらの写真に扇風機のようなものが見えると思います。
In this picture, you can see the poles with fans on top.
これはですね、防霜ファンといって、お茶の新芽を霜の被害から守るためのものです。
These fans are to help defend or prevent the frost.
はい、この機械がないと一生懸命1年間茶畑を管理しても1日1朝だけで新芽が収穫できなくなってしまうことがあります。
So without these fans, even if the tea farmers put all their energy and effort throughout the year, the harvest can be damaged in just one day if the frost comes down.
はい、今年は今のところあまりこの扇風機が活躍する日がなさそうです。
But this year, so far the temperatures are quite good, and probably they will not need to use those fans.
はい、とても安心してます。
So it's a bit safer situation this year.
はい、以上がですね、私の近くの畑の紹介になります。
So this is a quick short introduction of the area and the tea farms around Ikeya-san.
ぜひ何か質問があれば、はい、お受けします。
So if you have any questions for Ikeya-san about his teas or his area, don't feel shy. Please ask anytime. もう一つ、そうですね、一つチャットから質問がありまして、
はい。
このお茶、さっき飲んでたお茶はいつ収穫しましたか？
こちらのお茶ですね。こちらは、2つの畑の、葉っぱがブレンドされています。
So we are just looking at the chat that you had a few questions, and one of them was, when was this tea? We assume the tea that we tasted just now. When was this harvested? Ikeya-san is saying that to make this tea, he used 2 cultivars.
昨年の4月の29日と4月の30日に摘んだ葉っぱです。
Sorry, not 2 cultivars, but 2 days, and it was harvested on 2 days. So last year, the 29th of April and 30th of April.
昨年はですね、収穫期がとても全国的に早くて、今年よりも1週間から10日ぐらい早かったです。
Last year, the harvest was quite early on, so it was about 1 week or 10 days earlier than normal.
おそらく同じ畑なんですけど、今年は10日間ぐらい遅いと思います。
And this year, the location is the same, but harvesting is going to be about 10 days later in comparison. Okay. あともう一点の、何回も言ってたと思いますけど、もう一度の品種、聞いてましたですね。このお茶の。
狭山香りという品種です。
And I think we mentioned already a few times, but just checking again in the chat, there was a question about a cultivar. So this cultivar is called Sayama Kaori. It's a cultivar locally from Saitama Prefecture.
はい、どんな特徴かというとですね、寒さに大変強くて、で、味がすごく濃厚な特徴があります。
So what are the special features about this cultivar? One thing is that this is the cultivar is very strong against cold, so it can withstand cold quite well. And also it is known for a very rich taste.
はい。鮮度を保つためにはどうするか。
Can I
Yes, of course.
ask?
Yes.
So you in the beginning of your presentation you said, but I missed or I forgot. So there's the taste is from Saitama, the smell from. Can you repeat that? I missed it. I can't remember.
Ikeya さん、一番最初にそのお茶の参加賞の歌言ってたんですよね。もう一度言ってもいいですか？ちょっと聞き取れなかったみたいですね。
色は静岡、香りは宇治よ、味は狭山でとどめさす。
Okay. So this is the Japanese version, and the English is that the color of tea comes from Shizuoka, the aroma comes from Uji, and the taste is from Sayama, from Saitama. So this is where the limit of Japanese tea is. Yeah. Sorry if I did not maybe also translate correctly, but good point to check again.
You translated it. I forgot it. and so the cultivar that is is it a wild cultivar or is it not wild?
What do you mean by wild?
I mean seed grown or.
Okay. マーティンの質問はこのお茶とこの品種は種から育ったことですか？なんていうブランチカットして育ったことですか？
ブランチカットですね。お茶は種からじゃなくて挿し木というですね、枝を挿して育てていきます。
はい。So Martin, this one is made. It's grown from the cuttings, not from the seeds.
種から育てるといろんな品種が混ざってしまう可能性があるので、はい。
So when you grow from the seed, it's a possibility that a lot of kind of cultivars will be mixed together.
Yeah, so you get different. You don't get a constant product in the end, right? Yeah.
そうですからお茶も同じではないですね。種からでしたらいろいろ味とか香りとかもですよね。
One more thing, if I may, if I don't want to interrupt.
Yes, of course.
So what temperatures, what lowest temperatures do you get in your area? So how much do the plants actually manage to cope with?
Should we ask lowest and highest or just?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, but you were saying that this cultivar is specifically resistant against low temperatures as well. So I was wondering.
マーティンはもう一つの質問は埼玉の温度はこの狭山香り寒さ強いと言ってたんですけど、その埼玉は一番寒い時はどれぐらいですか？
そうですね、冬で本当に寒い日が何日かあるんですけども、今年で言えば4月の4日の朝がマイナス7度でした。
So there are quite often there are a few really cold days in Saitama, and this year Ikeya-san saw that probably the coldest point was -7 degrees.
マイナスになることっていうのは稀なんですけども、お茶はそのマイナスの気温に結構ダメージを受けてしまいます。
あ、そうですね。
はい、たまにしかないんですけど、はい。
So it doesn't get cold so often, or it doesn't mean that it continues for a long time. There are some days when it gets cold, and this can actually damage the tea if it was really cold.
はい、あとは寒さよりもどちらかというと乾きの方が弱いです、お茶の木は。
乾きは何ですか？
水がないと、はい、難しい。
そうか、乾き。
はい。
はい。And the other difficulty for tea is not just temperature, cold temperature, but also moisture. So if there's not enough water, not enough moisture, that's also dangerous for tea.
今年は冬も4月もしっかり雨が降ってますので、良いお茶が期待できます。
And this year, both in winter and also in April, when the tea buds started growing, there was quite a bit of rain. So Ikeya-san thinks this year the tea should be very good. Thank you, Martin.
あと、フレッシュな香りを保つにはどうしたらいいですかって質問来てますね。How was the tea being stored to keep a fresh taste?
いいですね。はい。どう思いますか？
ですね、お茶は保管をしておくときに、うちの場合は冷凍庫に入れております。大きい。はい、そうすることによっては、やっぱほとんど変わらない品質で1年間皆さんにお届けできます。
So again, Ikeya-san saw your question, Monique's question in the chat about how to store tea to keep the fresh taste. And Ikeya-san says that he stores his teas in the freezer. So that's why you can have the fresh taste all year round.
はい、皆さんもお茶をたくさんもらってしまったら、できれば冷凍庫に入れておくといいと思います。
And I think it's a common question for all of us, or a common problem when we have a lot of tea, too much tea, how to store it well. Ikeya-san says that the best way is to put the tea in the freezer.
はい、ただ袋を開けてしまったものは入れてはいけません。結露をしてしまいます。
気をつけながら。
はい。
するんですね。
開けてないものであれば冷凍庫の方がいいです。
But this is only for the tea that is in the original unopened package. If you have already opened the package, then best not put it in the freezer. いいですね。はい、そんな感じか。そしたら、もうちょっとその資料、短いバージョン見せてもいいですか？
はい。
Saitamaのところ。So we also want to share just a little bit of the explanation. So Ikeya-san showed us some pictures from his location, from his town, from his farm, but also to show you a bit more about Saitama, where it is and what it is known for. So I'm going also to share that with you in just a moment. Okay, so this is today's farm, Ikeya farm, and the location is Saitama Prefecture. So it looks like it is in the middle of Japan, but actually this is one of the most northern places for growing tea. So almost the northern limit. And Saitama is quite an urban place. It has a large population, but quite small areas. So it's quite a large population density. and it is also very close to Tokyo. So a lot of people leave Saitama in the daytime to go to work to Tokyo and then come back to Saitama overnight. So it's in a way a kind of sleeping town of Tokyo. And in terms of tea, currently Saitama is ranking in around 10th place. So the quantity of tea is not so large, but as you have heard from the famous song that Ikeya-san shared with us, from all times it was known as one of the 3 main places for tea in Japan. And Ikeya-san already showed us this picture that it is really quite a cold place and it can get quite a lot of snow in winter time. So where is tea grown in the prefecture? This is the map of the prefecture. We can see it is mainly in the south west side of the prefecture. So these are the areas highlighted in green are the tea producing areas. Okay, and Saitama is also known for Sayama-cha. So this is the local brand name, like Uji-cha for Kyoto, Sayama-cha for Saitama. And Saitama has, Sayama-cha in Saitama has also quite interesting history, because Ikeya-san said he was very happy for you to drink the tea from around the world, but it was already drank around the world more than 100 years ago. So Sayama-cha and actually their own tea, Ikeya-san's tea, traveled to the Chicago World Expo. In 1893. この時はIkeyaさんのお茶海外出てましたんですよね。Ikeyaさんミュートになってます。
はい、そうです。明治26年にうちのお茶がこうアメリカのシカゴっていうところのコンテストで受賞した賞状ですね。
So the picture you can see on the screen is the award that their tea received in the Chicago World Expo contest. So they got quite high valuation. すごいですね。もうもうどれぐらい130年前ぐらいもIkeyaさんのお茶世界中に旅してましたんですね。
江戸時代後期から創業したっていうふうに僕も伝え聞いてますので、おそらくここからまだ40年前ぐらい、1850年ぐらいにもお茶を作ってたんじゃないかなと。はい。
So this is the record that they have about their tea traveling abroad, but Ikeya-san says that maybe their tea was already made around 1850s. So they hear from stories before that the tea was already produced around that time.
狭山茶の産地では古い方です。
So from this, you probably can see that Sayama-cha is a quite old brand in this region. Saitama is quite an old tea producing area, not a recent place. いいですね。はい。This and Ikeya-san also mentioned to us that mainly this area is known for fukamushi-cha, the deep steamed tea. それ深蒸し茶はもう全体的県で作ってますよね。
そうですね。埼玉県はほとんどが深蒸し茶になってます。はい。
So in the whole of Saitama Prefecture, a lot of tea farmers are making this style of tea, deep steamed tea. And this is their family, Ikeya-san's family and their farm. すごくいい写真ですね。
この写真はですね、もう5年前ぐらいの写真なんですけど、
Ikeya-san全然変わってないですね。
この間にそうですね、子供が3人になりました。
そうですか。So this picture is from about 5 years ago. Ikeya-san looks like he hasn't changed at all, but actually there's a big change in their family. Here we see one child and now they have 3. すごいですね。はい。 で、最後は、and lastly, just a little bit of information. So as we said, the farm is probably around or more than 200 years old. And current area, about 9 hectares of land. And doing both farming methods, so conventional and organic way. And we saw also from the pictures that using the driven harvesting machine and using the factory of about 120 kilogram processing machines. And perhaps lastly, to show you that they have so many awards. So they have received a lot of awards. すごいですね、これ。もう棚狭いなってますね。
そうですね。整理しないといけませんね。
すごい。これも池谷さんもお父さんとかおじいちゃんとかもう世代で集めてた賞ですか？
いや、これは全部私のですね。
これ池谷さんだけです。
はい、父親のは別にしまっていっちゃいました。
すごい。So I was asking if this is all their family awards from his father and grandfather, and actually no, these are all Ikeya-san's awards, so awards that he himself received.
一番上の段が手もみ茶でいただいたトロフィーで、2段目が機械で作ったお茶で、3段目が闘茶会って言ってお茶を飲んで当てる気持ち。はい。
そう、すごいですね。So Ikeya-san is telling us that the top shelf is for the awards given for hand roll tea. The second shelf from the top are awards given for the machine process tea. And the third shelf is for the tea evaluation skills. So Ikeya-san also participates himself in the competitions, and he has been he received many awards for tea evaluation. 素晴らしい。すごい。はい。じゃあ、こんな感じで大丈夫ですか？
はい、ありがとうございます。
はい。So this is a short also introduction into a bit more into the region. And in the meanwhile, I think we still have one more tea. So let's ask Ikeya-san to tell us more about the second.
Could I ask one more question?
Oh, yes, of course, please.
Why has the tea been produced with tea leaves from 2 days, the 29th and the 30th of April? Is there a special reason for that?
池谷さん、さっき教えてた、さっきいただいてたお茶は、去年の4月29日と4月30日作ってたって言ってたんですね。で、モニクの質問は、なぜこの2日間のお茶一緒にしてますか？それは普通ですか？何が理由ありますか？
ですね、いいところをこう2つ合わせてるっていうふうに捉えてもらうと、1つ目の茶園はとても香りがいいお茶だったんですね。はい。だけどちょっと味が僕の中で物足りなかったので、2日目に作ったお茶の方が濃厚な味のお茶に仕上がりましたので、いいところを合わせたっていうことです。
品種は同じでした。
一緒です、一緒です。
So Ikeya-san said that as he was processing the tea, he noticed that one day was slightly different from the other. So on the 29th, the earlier day, the aroma was very, very nice, but maybe the taste was a little bit light. And on the later day, the taste was much, much stronger. So he thought combining them will combine the strength of both days, having rich aroma and taste.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. そしたら池谷さん次のお茶に進めますか？
はい、お願いします。2つ目のお茶を説明させてもらいます。このとどめ茶というお茶を皆様にお届けさせていただきました。
So now we are going to explain about the second tea. It's called とどめ茶。and
はい。で、とどめ茶というのは先ほど説明したお茶の歌から取ってます。
And as Ikeya-san already mentioned earlier on, the song, so the name actually とどめ茶 comes from that song.
はい。 でこちらはですね、池の屋園のオリジナルブランドです。
And this is an original brand by Ikeya and their tea farm.
はい。で、今写真を共有させていただきました。
はい。
はい、こちらとどめ茶。
Yeah, so this is their new tea, とどめ茶。
はい。とどめ茶のパッケージです。
And the package for this tea.
で、とどめ茶は9種類のお茶で用意しています。
So altogether in this brand, they have 9 teas.
はい。で、まず3つを朝、昼、夜というふうにお勧めをしてまして、これは、狭山茶と混ぜたブレンドティーです。
So the 3 teas out of those 9, they are blended teas with a flavor. And Ikeya-san decided to recommend each one of them for a different time of the day. One for the morning, one for the afternoon, and one for the evening.
はい。で、このブレンド茶3つの他に茶種別に分けたお茶が6種類あります。
And besides these flavor teas, there are also 6 pure teas.
で、今日皆様にお届けしたのはこの真ん中の写真のものです。
And the tea that everyone has today and we will be tasting in a moment is the one in the middle.
私の作った和紅茶に、埼玉県産の柚子、そして、ハイビスカスをブレンドしています。
This tea is created by combining wakocha, Japanese black tea made by Ikeya-san, as well as yuzu, Japanese citrus, also from their prefecture, from Saitama, and hibiscus.
で、飲んでいただくと分かると思うんですけども、主役がお茶になるような配合にしています。
And you probably will notice when you drink, but their importance is to highlight the tea.
はい、ではですね、早速入れていきたいと思いますけども、こちらは紅茶をベースにしていますので、お湯は冷まさずに熱々の熱湯のまま入れていきます。
And as you know, the base of this tea is wakocha, black tea. So that's why we are going to use boiling water. We don't need to cool it down.
で、色を見ていただきたいので、こういったガラスの急須を今使います。通常の急須でももちろん構いません。
This time, Ikeya-san wants to show you also the color of the brew. So he selected a glass teapot, but any teapot is good and regular juice is also fine.
はい、ではですね、同じように 100cc ぐらいの湯飲みを2つ、200cc のお湯を使います。
And again, the water amount is similar to the first tea. So we're using 2 cups, about 100 milliliters each. So about 200 milliliters altogether.
はい。で、茶葉はですね、先ほどよりも少し多く、1人4グラムぐらい、8グラムから10グラムを使用します。
And this time we are going to have a bit more of the tea leaves compared to the first tea. So it would be about 4 grams per 100 milliliters. So altogether between 8 and 10 grams for the water amount for 200 milliliters we are using today.
はい。で、抽出時間は2分120秒待ちましょう。
The brewing time will be about 2 minutes.
はい。では早速入れていきます。
So let's make it together.
葉っぱをですね、8グラムから10グラムお入れします。
So the tea leaves, just a reminder, about between 8 and 10 grams.
はい。で、葉っぱの匂い嗅いでいただくと分かるんですけども、紅茶の甘みとハイビスカスの酸味の両方をこう嗅いでいただくことができると思います。
And when you check the aroma of the tea leaves, as well as when you drink, you probably will notice that it's a combination of both the sweetness of black tea and a little bit of sourish note from hibiscus.
ではですね、お湯はそのまま直接注いでいきます。
So we can pour the boiling water directly on top of the tea leaves.
で、私がこのブレンドに柚子を選んだ理由なんですけども、埼玉県のでは葛城柚子というですね、柚子の発祥の地があるというふうに言われています。
So why Ikeya-san chose to add yuzu? Actually, in their prefecture, in their area, there is quite also a famous region for making yuzu, and the brand is called Katsuragi Yuzu.
でですね、こちらはですね、酸っぱい、酸味が苦手な方はですね、ガムシロップとか蜂蜜を入れていただくとまろやかに飲めると思います。
So this time, I think it's going to be a bit of a surprise for us, a little bit of sourish taste of this tea. And Ikeya-san is saying if some of you maybe are a bit don't like the sour taste as much, you can add a sweetener like a syrup or honey, and then it will become a bit more round.
はい。では、それでは時間になりましたので注いでいきます。
So the time has passed and we can pour the tea.
まあ、同じように回し継ぎといって順番に注いでいってください。
And just like before, we are using this method, mawashitsugi, where we are pouring just a little in each cup and going back and forth between the two.
紅茶の赤色とハイビスカスのピンク色が混ざってとてもいい色になってるかなと思います。
So look at the color, isn't this beautiful? It combines the red color of the black tea and the pinkish color from hibiscus and becomes really vibrant, very beautiful. 湯飲みもいいですね。
湯飲みがこちら桜の形をしてちょっと分かりづらいですけど、桜の葉っぱの。
I don't know if you can recognize, but Ikeya-san also chose quite an interesting cup that has a sakura flower shape inside the cup.
はい。どうですかね。お入れできましたかね。
Do you have yours ready?
It is a bit difficult to see the cup.
ちょっと、まあ、見る難しいかな。その桜の形。
桜の形、ちょっと待ってくださいね。じゃあ戻しちゃえばいいですかね。
そっかそっか。Can you see better? It's a little bit hard to show you. 今いいですね。Now I think we can see it.
こういう感じです。はい。
はい。ありがとうございます。So everyone, do you have your tea ready? Yes. Let's try. 飲みましょう。いただきます。すごいです。
最初に紅茶の甘みとか、香りが漂った後にその甘みがハイビスカスの酸味に変わるっていう。はい。
So probably at first you should feel the taste and the aroma of black tea, and then a little after comes the aftertaste from hibiscus, a little bit sour note. 美味しい。
でこちらはですね、今熱いお湯で入れましたけど、冷茶、アイスにするのもおすすめだと思います。
So this time we made a hot brew using boiling water, but you can also make an ice brew with this tea.
はい、で、アイスティーにするときには水出しもおすすめなんですけども、柚子の香りがちょっと出づらいので、はい、あったかいのを氷に注ぐのがいいかなと思います。
The way to make the cold tea, of course, you could make cold brew directly, but Ikeya-san says that if you are using directly cold water, maybe the aroma of yuzu is going to be a bit weak. So what he recommends is to make it hot like we did today and then use ice to cool it down.
グラスに氷をなみなみ入れていただいて、ちょっと濃いめに入れたこのお茶をすぐ注ぎ入れる、急冷してください。
So you can prepare a glass full of ice and then pour the tea on top. And when you make the tea, you can make it a little bit stronger, a little bit rich, and then it will be a nice balance with the ice.
はい。で、こういった形で、今紅茶のブレンドですけど、あと煎茶のブレンド、ほうじ茶のブレンドを用意してます。
So this time we tasted the flavor tea using kocha, Japanese black tea, but Ikeya-san also made the new products with sencha and flavored sencha and flavored hojicha.
でお茶屋さんがこういったブレンドティーを作るのは珍しいんですけども、珍しいです。
Actually, to tell the truth, it's still quite rare in Japan to make this kind of blended flavor tea.
はい、で今若者が日本でもお茶を飲まなくなってきてしまっているので、そういった方々がお茶を飲むきっかけになればいいなというふうに考えています。
And many of you probably know that young people are not so interested in Japanese tea anymore. They are turning away. So Ikeya-san hopes that this kind of tea can bring younger people back closer to tea.
はい、こういったものから入っていただいて、お茶に興味を持ってもらった人が普通のお茶とかを飲んでもらうのがいいかなと。
So this is like a door, like an entrance to Japanese tea. So when people try this and maybe get a bit more interested, then they can taste the purities as well.
お茶を飲まない人が飲むようになる活動っていうのを今頑張っています。
So Ikeya-san is really now focusing on working on how to invite people who don't usually drink tea closer to tea. So this is one of the ideas he had.
質問ありますかね。
このブランドはコチェで今質問がちょっと来てまして、ここは本当に柚子とハイビスカスだけですか？何がそういうなんか味のスプレーとかしたりしないですか？
はい、ですね、今ブレンドティーにもフレーバーティーって言って味を吹きつけてるお茶っていうのは確かに増えてます。
でもこのお茶の場合
は全くそういうのを使ってなくて、もう素材だけのブレンドです。
So we saw your question in the chat if this is really only black tea with hibiscus and yuzu, if there's no additional flavoring. Ikeya-san says nowadays the kind of artificial flavoring on top of tea is also becoming more common, but in case of this specific tea we are tasting today, it's only 3 ingredients. What he said, it's only the black tea, the hibiscus and yuzu, all the natural ingredients.
はい、でとどめ茶っていうのが狭山のお茶なので、原料も埼玉県産にこだわってます。ハイビスカスは残念ながらありませんでした。
And the idea behind Todomecha, so actually Ikeya-san had also the crowdfunding campaign for promoting this new brand. And the idea for Todomecha is to really strengthen Sayama Cha brand, so bring more attention to Sayama Cha. And that's why he chose he wanted to focus on local ingredients. So of course the tea is made by him and yuzu is also produced locally. And he was looking for hibiscus, but unfortunately it didn't exist in the area, so he had to get it from elsewhere.
ハイビスカスとかローズヒップとかいろんなものを試したんですけど、最終的にこれになりました。
So Ikeya-san was experimenting with other ingredients like rosehip, but this combination seemed to work the best.
私だけじゃなくて食のシェフとかと一緒に開発しました。ブレンドの配合とか。
So Ikeya-san is saying that to create this blend, it wasn't just him. He did this together with a chef. So together they created this combination. Ikeya-san、もう一つチャットからの質問なんですけど、このハイビスカスと柚子はお茶の製造終わってから入れてますか？途中に入れてますか？
製造が終わった後にブレンドしてます。
So to answer again another question we saw in the chat, if hibiscus and yuzu are added after the tea has been processed, and Ikeya-san says yes. So first he processed the tea and then he blended it with these other ingredients.
はい、で紅茶についてもいろいろたくさん種類を作るんですけども、その中からやっぱりこの2つの素材に合うものを選んでます。
And also Ikeya-san is making many different kinds of teas and also several kinds of wakocha, black tea. So he was doing trial and error, checking which works the best. Do you have any questions? You don't have to use chat, you can speak with us as well.
So why the hibiscus? Is hibiscus like a popular, on its own, a drink or a infusion, I guess you would call it, or a tea, or not tea, of course, but that is popular in Japan, or just wondering.
池谷さん、マーティンの質問はハイビスカスどうやって選べましたか？そのハイビスカスは日本でよく飲まれることですか？どうやってこのアイディアに当たりましたか？
ですね、まずは紅茶を邪魔しすぎない素材にしたいと思ったのと、それは色も含めて。はい。
Ikeya-san really wanted to highlight the tea in these blends, so he was looking for ingredients that wouldn't kind of overshadow the tea.
あとはその紅茶の甘みと酸味っていうのを両方持ったブレンドティーにしたかったので、はい、それも理由です。
And another reason is that he also wanted to have this interesting balance of the sweetness of the tea wakocha and also the sour taste. So that's why he selected hibiscus.
あとはハイビスカスって聞くと日本人ってお花の絵はこうイメージできるんですね。はい、なので思い浮かべやすかったからです。
And in Japan, when people hear hibiscus, a lot of people may imagine a flower, so flowery appearance. So he thought this will be a good way to kind of bring up the imagination of people.
はい、どんなものかわかんない、頭に浮かんでこないものはあんまり使いたくなかった。
So Ikeya-san didn't want to use ingredients that people wouldn't know or couldn't imagine what they were.
But is hibiscus, hibiscus herbal drink? Is it something that people do in Japan, or just hibiscus? I mean, or is it not? I don't know. Just wondering how he got the idea to try with hibiscus.
もうちょっとマーティン聞きたいんですけど、ハイビスカスはそのままその紅茶ブレンドせずにハイビスカスだけ飲むこと日本でよくありますか？どうやってIkeyaさんそのハイビスカスに知るようになりましたか？
ハイビスカスだけで飲むってことは正直日本だとあまりないと思います。はい、でもスターバックスさんとかでハイビスカスを使ったパッションティーっていうのがあるんですけど、そういったところで僕は面白いなと思いました。
So Ikeya-san thinks that in Japan it's very rare to drink only hibiscus infusion, but he noticed that in Starbucks there was a tea called passion tea that uses hibiscus, and that's probably where the inspiration came from.
Starbucks. Oh, okay.
ちなみに私はこちらになる前にスターバックスで働いていました。
そうでしたんですね。
4年間。
長い間。So we maybe didn't know or forgot, but actually Ikeya-san, before starting to work at his tea farm, he worked at Starbucks for about 4 years.
コーヒーとお茶。
コーヒーからお茶。はい。Thank you so much, Martin.
Very interesting to learn that Starbucks is also a thing in Japan.
そうですね。はい。スターバックスも結構メインじゃないと思いますね、日本でも。はい。Anyone else? Any other questions? We still have a little bit of time. If you have, or any impressions of the teas as well, we would like to hear what you thought. I think this is quite unique combination.
Just a question back to the green tea, the kabusecha before. You say that you harvest this tea only 2 days per year. Is it correct?
Let me ask. 池谷さん、ステファニアの質問は、さっき、煎茶の話に戻りますけど、さっきはその2日で合わせてこのお茶作ってたんですね。で、ステファニア知りたいのは、このお茶2日だけで収穫ですか？もっと長い収穫時期ですか？
もっと長く毎日のように作っていくんですけども、お茶って日に日にこう品質が落ちていってしまうんですね。はい。なので、いいなと思った2日間をピックアップしました。
So, no, Stefania, this tea, usually the harvest is longer, not just 2 days. But Ikeya-san, as he was making the tea, often the later you make it, a little bit the quality goes down. So Ikeya-san looked at all the days when he made this tea and selected those days to make that product.
はい。お茶は日に日にこう収穫量っていうのが増えていくんですけど、逆に香りと旨味がだんだん減っていくっていう感じです。
So usually when every day the tea shoot keeps on growing, and the larger it gets, the less flavor and the less kind of intensive flavor and aroma it has. So the quality kind of changes day by day.
Okay. Until they harvest this tea, May or June, also in the summer.
普段はこのお茶の収穫時期はいつまでですか？5月まで、夏まで、どれくらいですか？
私のところでは、一番茶っていうふうに言われる、最初に出てくる芽は、だいたいそうですね、5月の5日から25ぐらいまでです。一番茶が。
So this tea is the spring flush. It's called ichibancha in Japanese. And in Ikeya-san's area, they normally harvest this tea between the 5th and 25th of May. So roughly about 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, great. And let's see that the scented tea is delicious, really good.
すごく美味しかったです。
ありがとうございます。
Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you.
I have a question regarding the wakocha.
Of course, please.
After blending the hibiscus used with the tea, do you have to store it for a certain amount of time and infuse the leaves, or is the taste blended by brewing?
ミカエラからの質問は和紅茶についてなんですけど、このブレンドした後に何日置いてからこの味になりますか？すぐそのブレンドした日にも同じこのような味ですか？
そうですね。もうブレンドしてすぐこの味になると思います。というのもどちらかというと紅茶については昨年のものを使ってます。寝かせて熟成させて。はい。
So, Mikaela, Ikeya-san says that you don't have to keep this tea for a while. So as you blend it on the same day, you can get this taste. But talking specifically about wakocha that he used for this blend, he actually waited for about a year. So it was from the previous year. So it's a term in Japanese is jukuse. It's a little bit aged tea that makes it a little bit round.
Okay, thank you. Interesting.
Thank you. 面白いですね。
はい、紅茶は出来たてのものも美味しいんですけど、結構この酸味だったりフレッシュすぎてしまって、はい、難しいですね。
So Ikeya-san says that in terms of wakocha, the black tea, when it's just made, it has this kind of special, very fresh and a little bit maybe sour note to its taste. So when you age it for about a year, it becomes a little bit more round, so it changes through time.
はい。で、皆さんの知ってるところだと抹茶 っていうのもすぐには出さずに少し寝かせたものを、はい、売ってます、日本は。
And actually, Ikeya-san also shares that a similar story is with matcha. So typically, matcha is not sold right after harvest. So you leave it for a little while, for some time here in Japan before selling and drinking. So it ages and becomes a bit rounder. 池谷さん、チャット見たらもう一つの質問が来てまして、また和紅茶なんですけど、品種、和紅茶はどの品種使ってましたか？一つなんと、あともう一点は和紅茶かぶせ茶みたいなようにかぶせてましたか？
はい、一つ目の質問で、品種は狭山香織という品種と福緑という品種を使ってます。
So we are looking at your questions in the chat, and there was a question about what cultivar is used to make wakocha. So Ikeya-san is saying that there are two cultivars that are blended together in this wakocha. One is Sayama Kaori, and the second one is Fukumidori. These cultivars.
2つを混ぜている理由は、福緑っていうのは香りが出やすい品種。狭山香織は味が出やすい品種。
So why these two cultivars are blended together? Ikeya-san is saying that Fukumidori cultivar has a feature where you get more aroma, and Sayama Kaori has the feature where you get more taste. So it's combining the two, you can get the best of both.
はい、で2つ目の質問で、紅茶にはかぶせて栽培したものは使っていません。
And there was a second question whether wakocha was also shaded like kabusecha, and Ikeya-san says no, they don't make shaded wakocha.
はい。
そうですね。そうですね。もう時間すぐなりますから、もう最後のことをIkeyaさんからお願いしてもいいですか？
はい。皆さん今日はありがとうございます。
So we are getting close to time today, and the last words, the last message from Ikeya-san, he is saying a big thank you to you all.
ですね、日本では、もう間もなくいろんな産地で新茶の収穫シーズンを迎えます。
So right now in Japan and various regions around Japan, we are approaching the tea production season.
はい。5月が終わると、多分どこの産地も新茶にお茶が変わっていきます。
And in most regions, probably almost all regions, at the end of May, we should already have some fresh new tea, 新茶。
はい、僕もそうなんですけども、これから一生懸命新茶を頑張って作りますので、いろんな産地のお茶をですね、日本のお茶をぜひ飲んでください。
And same for Ikeya-san. Very soon he will also start to harvest his tea and make his tea. And he's actually asking you not to only drink his tea, but also taste teas from other tea farmers, other tea regions as well.
はい。で、なかなか難しいと思うんですけども、もし将来的に日本に皆さん来ることがあったら、ぜひ東京から近いので埼玉県に来てください。
And right now, maybe it's a little bit difficult with the current situation of pandemic, but Ikeya-san is saying when you have a chance to travel to Japan, please come visit him. His tea farm is very close to Tokyo, so it should be quite easy to reach.
はい。で、今日はですね、こうやっていろんな国々の方々が私の作ったお茶を飲んでくださっていて、本当に嬉しい気持ちになりました。
And Ikeya-san is really, really glad and really happy today to share his tea with all of you from so many countries around the world.
本当にありがとうございます。
Very big thank you to you all from Ikeya-san. はい。本当にありがとうございます。Ikeyaさん。あと、ちょっと将来的にもしみんなフォローしたかったら、また、インスタグラムのアカウントみんなにシェアします。
そうですね。様子がどんなね ところで取れてるとかっていうのがよくわかると思いますので。
And if you'd like to follow Ikeya-san and his tea farm, they have also their website in Japanese, but Ikeya-san says probably the best place to connect will be through Instagram. So I'm going to share in the chat their Instagram page. Please have a look, and you can follow what their farm is doing. Right. So really big thank you to everyone for joining today. And some of you are joining many times, and some of you came first time. So really big thank you to all of you. And we typically like to organize these events about once a month. We have been doing that since the beginning of the year. However, right now it's a bit busy time for the tea farmers. It's the peak, the main season in the next weeks and within the next month. So after the short break, we will want to come back a little bit later in summer. But of course, we will let you know when the next event is available. We will share with you. So again, a big thank you for joining us. And if you like our activities, a lot of you are already part of our association. You are already our members. But if you would like to also join our association and take part in other events, we also invite you to the membership program.